Hey guys, just got off of work. I got a new package in the order. Hey guys, I just got off of work. A new package came in the mail. I'm gonna open this up. Can't wait to see what's inside. It's pretty awesome. Some minifigures. One of a kind. Well, at least first time ever purchasing these. They're not official Lego minifigures, unfortunately, but I've never seen these minifigures for purchase elsewhere. So let me just start off with one thing. Kind of looks like everything's all tossed in one bag, but let me just... Queen Amidala. It's not official Lego, but this one, because it doesn't even come with a torso, so I still have to color match the bottom piece with the top piece. So I'm gonna end up painting this one and then comparing side by side. It's gonna be pretty cool. ANY, or one of the Chameleonians, whatever, how do you say that word?
The Kaminoan people...
I really didn't want to buy Obi-Wan Starfighter for like $23 just for one figure. So I decided to just buy one of these knockoff ones for like $2. I apologize. Oh well. Sorry, not sorry. A pretty cool figure I've never seen at all. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is one of those Naboo security guards. As soon as I saw these for sale, I was like instantly buy a lot. So I think I bought 2 cases or like 2 orders. And I think there's 4 per order. So I got 8 of them in total. And here is Captain Panaka. You can tell because he has that little eye patch on his left side. I'd never seen this minifigure before, so I really wanted to get him. Jaro Tapal, I think, from Jedi Fallen Order. I can't believe I remember that name, but he is the same species as Zeb. I don't remember what name the species is, but really want to get these guys. So he's an amazing figure. And here's a young version of Ahsoka Tano, Clone Wars version with short legs. Really excited about that one. I don't even have like version of her like the older variant, but she's like $200. Don't even care. Another one of these Naboo guards. Keep on going. Another one of those guys. The dining dresswear Padme. I really like this figure, not because like, oh, her chest is out or whatever, but the skirt piece was actually a slope, like how the Emperor has his. He's at a slope, so she had the same kind of slope piece. I thought that was pretty cool. Very unique for a figure. The next one is, oh, I bought 4 K2SO figures. I think there's 4 in there. I bought an official Lego one for like $30+ a few years ago, but now they're like $70 or $80 when I think I just paid like $5 for 4 of them. So there's no point to purchasing insane figures when I know I already have them. There's another Naboo guard. I don't know why, but there's 2 of the Padme like dress outfit. Kind of weird. I did not buy 2. But last one is the very final Naboo security guard. So I can't wait to put these together later tonight and go into close-ups and get more detail. Let's do it. So first minifigure to show off is this young version of Ahsoka Tano. I love that she has mini little short legs and they're posable too. I'm so old-fashioned. I'm so used to the single molded part like from 2007, like Anakin. Little Annie over here.
Annie? What? Annie!
I've been looking at a lot of different sellers online for this type of short-legged version of Ahsoka Tano that's like posable, because I really want to do some stop-motion animations. And how awesome would that be to have Ahsoka Tano like run around with her little stubby legs? I absolutely love the overall printing. It has arm printing and looks amazing. It's not 360 arm printing, but at least it wraps around the majority. And the overall fine line points are really exquisite. I absolutely love just the minute details that only the hardcore Ahsoka Tano fans would really notice. I'm not a super huge Ahsoka Tano fan, but I do like the overall character and her arc along the entire series. That's from the police gunship, and I do have the other version, but I misplaced her. And here is the newest version from, I think it's called the T-16 shuttle, but this version is The one I most like to use in most of my mocks, well, at least the face. I'm not a huge fan of the Clone Wars version of her face because it's just like, it's a little bit too animated for my style. This version I prefer. It's a very natural, normal looking face versus, I don't know what they're trying to go for the Clone Wars version. Anakin and Obi-Wan on both sides of her. I also resin printed these little armor pieces right here. Boom, boom. I need to paint this one white, but it looks pretty good, clear as is. I think it gives a nice little depth to these characters already. This version of Anakin came from Grandpa Clone Customs, and I think he's out of stock right now, but you guys can always like go on to resellers, and they always try to resell GCC Customs. And on this Obi-Wan, he has custom printed arms, because on his left side, Jedi insignia, which I think looks pretty cool. But the main reason why Obi-Wan has clone armor, he wanted to be more like his troopers and to know that he's in battle with them, and he's wearing the same armor and he's going to lead in battle. He's not going to be a regular general, stick in the back with his feet up in the air and command everyone from the sidelines. He's in the action, in the fight, in the battle, side by side with the soldiers. That's a little backstory why he has clone armor. I'm really surprised on this minifigure by the overall printing. This is probably the most intricate printed figure I've ever seen in my entire life. Not just because, oh, it looks like she's topless or whatever, but just if you simply look at all the minute little dots on the dress in the center, that's insane. But then when you look at the dress, you look at all these little minute details. It's super hard to pick it up at a certain angle, but right here you can see it completely 360 wraps around the print. And then when you compare it to official Lego, look at that. They barely do printing at all. They just do it on one side, the very back and the front. But then compare it to this figure, you know, the knockoff figure, something that clearly 5 years ago used to be horrible quality, but now all the knockoff Lego companies are doing better than Lego, and it's really surprising because Lego is just set in their old ways and they're not being progressive in anything nowadays, at least when it comes to their printing quality. I feel like they're so big as a company, they don't really want to take chances, because if they do that, they have to do printing quality on everything. Let's compare this Padme. Honestly, the weirdest looking face is the middle because her lips are just way too like puffy. I prefer the face on the far right and the far left because they look more her style, Natalie Portman, compared to the middle one, just looks like a random chick. The only version of Padme I don't have is the older version of this. She came out in the Malevolent in 2011, I think. Don't quote me on that. I probably got it wrong. Never bought that set, but
I lied.
The overall printing quality is insane on all these figures. The one in the middle came from GCC. It actually came with two versions of Padme. The other print job was like super weird because they decided to use a dark bluish gray base that instead of doing just regular tan. Some of it kind of pops up through the tan, and when you go on the side, it's just dark bluish gray, and it's kind of disappointing. I'm astonished with these figures because I've never seen these figures. I'm looking online for custom minifigures like almost 24/7, it seems like. Every single day, I'm like checking eBay, seeing if there's new things to buy, you know, because to fill the obsession of not having something, to fill that void in my life, you know. And this fills that void for a little bit. This overall printing quality is amazing. I love the design. The blue really pops from the dark red, and I love the little ripples on the back of his shirt and even on the back of his pants. And it did come with this hairpiece, but it also came with a pretty cool printed hat as well. And here's a better look at the very fine point details on the torso. And even the belt buckle has nice little details as well. These are way better printing quality than actual Lego minifigures. Some of his bodyguards. So here's a pretty cool look at off to the right. I have one of these Engineerio security guards for the Naboo. And off to the left is a regular Lego version of a Naboo security guard. That came from an official set. I think it's different pants and different torso, than it's like switched out, but it gives it a little variety. The overall printing quality compared to Engineerio is pretty astonishing too, because he's been doing that for so many years, just as one guy, and he makes all of his prints like custom designed by him himself. He does not steal any of his designs compared to, you know, fake knockoff Lego. They kind of just steal anything and everything from everyone else. So right here I have the 187th Clone Legion. I really wanted these guys for so long, ever since that Republic tank came out. I just never wanted to buy it because it looks so disgustingly ugly. Personal preference, of course, but I absolutely love these two figures right here. I went with my girlfriend to Bricks and Minifigs recently. I saw they had these two figures and I really wanted to pick these up. I actually had the opportunity to purchase these guys, but unfortunately on Target.com, both these guys in the set were already sold out, even though it was in my shopping cart and I was about to purchase them. I was in the checkout section and it was totally out of stock. And since they never come back in stock because it's being clearanced out to get rid of all of them, I never had the opportunity to get them. And I think it was a Target exclusive. And now that set sells for like $100 or $60, some crazy price compared to the original MSRP. But on the right, I'm showcasing my resin printed clone shield. They are sporting some pretty cool DC-15, the short version of the rifle and the longer version of the rifle on the left. And what would these troopers be without the general himself, Mace Windu, with his 187th Battalion clones? And here's a close look at Tan Wee, or one of those Minonians. How do you ever say that word? I never say it right. I usually don't like buying just straight up knockoff versions of Lego, but I did not want to pay $24 for one minifigure for that Obi-Wan Starfighter just to get this minifigure right here. So I decided might as well just spend like $3 on a knockoff version that looks like 100% exactly like Lego. I'm just overall surprised by the quality of, I guess, fakeness. It's like 100%, like holding it, the plastic feels exactly like Lego, it looks like Lego. It's just missing the Lego logo, because you can tell on the top, it's completely blank. The main reason I purchased that minifigure is because I wanted to showcase Omega being captured by all the bad guys in Season 3 of Bad Batch. And I absolutely love all these characters all together. Especially that I got that resin printed hair for that guy. Kind of forgot his name, but he was a super interesting Imperial character that we got a nice closer look on his dark side, understand his motives. Then Emery in the back. Spoiler alert, Omega's sister. I absolutely loved her character as well. And let's just pretend that's Tan Wee. I thought it was pretty upsetting how they kind of treated her entire race of people. And it really shows how imperialistic they were on pretty much any civilization that was superior to their intellect. They thought that was more of a danger, their new world society, like the fundamental basics of their reality. So they eradicated their entire civilization. Pretty insane, but unfortunately that's real life. So this figure right here, Queen Amidala, has been on my radar legitimately for so many years. I've never had the opportunity to purchase any version of her, especially even like a fake version in decent quality. So a few weeks ago, I had actually purchased some resin printed versions on venombricks.com, and just to show off a side-by-side comparison with the resin print quality compared to like ABS plastic. One of them is way denser than the other compared to the light plastic of ABS. And of course this is gray resin printed, so it's all uncolored, just regular resin gray. I would have to paint these manually. You can barely see any of the resin print lines. And in resin printing, that's called stereolithography. It's pretty much like if you look at a topographical map of a location, it shows different elevations and it does a layer at a time. So what would Queen Amidala be without her handmaidens? So these came from Engineero Customs. I absolutely love seeing all these figures together. They look cool by themselves, but personally it's when they're all together that makes the characters kind of make sense. Why would I get one without the other? So that's what I was planning on. That's why I purchased 2 of these handmaiden, because eventually I knew I was going to get one of these Queen Amidala figures. And I absolutely love seeing the resin printed version of the chest piece on Queen Amidala. It's very detailed and highly depth orientated. You can kind of see the resin printed lines on this one. But let's go off to another figures. And here's a close look at Jaro Tapal. I'm loving this overall figure. It's super hard to tell on camera, but the dark bluish gray lines really have nice contrast with the purple skin. And on the legs, it has pretty nice printing. Even on the toes, it shows his little toesies. It looks pretty cute. Even on his side arm printing, I noticed that he has one of those Jedi insignias, as well as pretty much exactly like Obi-Wan's, which is pretty cool because they're both sporting the clone armor look. So I also put one of those resin printed shoulder pauldron pieces on. I've never seen like Zeb's face, at least the version of that species, in real life, and it's such a bizarre looking print, especially on the eyes. It's just kind of soulless. It's just looking directly into you. Especially the frowning face just looks so weird compared to any other Lego minifigure that we've ever seen before. Cal Kestis coming in that Star Destroyer. I just really don't want to pay $160 for a really small Star Destroyer. Off to the next figure. And here's a close look at these pretty cool Naboo security guards. These come from Mandalorian Season 3, apparently. I'm not sure. And off to the left, we have a bunch of these K2SO figures. I absolutely love the overall K2SO design. The one up front is official Lego, but the 4 in the back are the knockoff versions. And I really wanted to show a side-by-side comparison with their similarities and differences, of course. But going to these guys, I put some pretty cool spears with them, as well as energy shield things that the Gunkins use on the Battle of Naboo. I absolutely love the overall color contrast with these figures. The purples with the reds and the other security guards with the yellow. I made sure all these security guards have different type of faces because they're humans. They're not clones, so they should have different style faces. They look pretty cool. Very distinguished characters. Ready for war guys. I really appreciate the 360 printing on these figures just because the fact that the lines are pretty seamless. Except on this minifigure, off to the right, you can barely see the misalignment. But that's what I mean by the other figure was perfect.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
When I look at all the fine point detail prints, they just look exactly like Lego. And there's no misprints that are super noticeable. But when you go onto the side, it has side printing as well, looks amazing. Nice arm printing as well. We go to the back. I know it's just a dark red figure, but I just love that overall color contrast with the silver and the dark blacks with the fine point lines. I think it looks really nice. And even with this pretty cool helmet I've never seen before, it looks a little bit off when it comes to I think the mold job looks a little cheap. So here's an amazing side-by-side comparison between an official Lego K2SO and a knockoff version Lego K2SO. The one on the right is clearly Lego. You can see the logo on the arm. And you can just tell by the overall sheen on the torso, it looks way more shiny on the left. That's the fake one officially. You can even tell the print job right here. You can see the white and blue dot on the fake knockoff one. Right here, there's nothing. And on the head part right here, there's some dots indicating debris. And it even has a bunch of dots on the left side. The K2SO design looks so menacing, especially that they're 8 feet tall. And seeing them on Andor, I absolutely loved how brutal they were with him. Throw him against the ground and against the wall like he's a ragdoll. Really showing how brutal the Empire designed these guys to really operate. They've made it so they tower over everyone and have pure dominance above all.
Down, sir. Droid assistance, please.
Wait, what is it? No, this is great.
Hang on to this one for me. I want to check the shelter.
He said hang.
No. No, you misunderstand. No, he meant the watch.
Hang.
No, he means watch.
So I absolutely love to spread all these minifigures across the clone base and feed in 1313. So in episode 42, these are all the minifigures that I made in that single order. And in total, it was $58. Unfortunately, they accidentally miscounted some things. I'm supposed to have 2 packages of these minifigures over here, the Naboo security guards. I'm supposed to have 10 of them. Unfortunately, they only sent me 5, which I already messaged them on their support email, letting them know that hopefully they can send a refund or send the other 5, because they were $20 for 5 of these, which being knockoff Lego is pretty expensive. So $5 a piece when the other ones were $2 to $3 a piece is something not to whiff at. But just starting off to the left, I got Queen Amidala, and then you got Padme, and then Captain Panaka, young Ahsoka Tano, 5 Naboo security guards from Mandalorian Season 3, and then we got Ton Wee over here, then the 187th Battalion troopers on the very back, and as well as 4 K2SO minifigures in the mid-center. I absolutely love all these minifigures. I had no idea a lot of these even existed in the first place until I started browsing the website. Usually I'm not going to be like, oh, go buy some fake Lego, but this is remarkable things. I really wanted to showcase this new Separatist Airspeeder. I've been working on it for the past 1 year, 3 months. I finished it last year. It's just one of those things I just put off, keep on putting off and put off until I just can't put it off any longer. And so I had to make it. Glad thing I did, because probably one of my most solid builds I've ever come up with. I'll go into depths later on, but I really want to showcase my process, how I designed the instructions. Not many people go into depth, at least artistically wise, their explanations regarding these highly complex models. And with something highly complex as these models needs to have very thorough, easily able to follow instructions. In the past, I've always had some sort of basis to go off of. I always look at Lego instructions for reference, and I've also purchased a lot of custom mock instructions that personally I don't view that the standard of the set equivalates to the standard of the instructions. There's always that disconnect. Someone puts more effort into the design of the instructions, or vice versa. It's never just equal, which I don't understand. I always put my 100% in everything I do, because that's all we can do as people. Go into this software, stud.io. This is where I design pretty much everything, Lego related, of course. On top right, it shows a step editor, and you're able to go through every single step and change, one part. If it doesn't connect properly to another part, you're able to just swap them back and forth, different steps. It's taken 4 years for me to really fully understand the ins and outs, what you can and can't do with the software. I've made at least 6 really decent sized models with this, and I have been profitable from the software. Dave's Custom, a few years ago, he did allow me to be a part of his website, and my police gunship was on there for a few months before he had to shut it down because he joined Brick Vault, unfortunately. And I felt like if he had continued doing that by himself, but just kept on adding more and more people, he would have taken out Brick Vault easily, because the people that design it, if we just come all together, all the people that design, we don't even need Brick Vault anymore. They're just a platform for us to showcase our work. And so going to these instructions I've been working on, I put together this set in the other room with the big screen to show on pretty much every single part that I have. I made this super helpful call out sheet. So what right here is the entire parts list I got to put together on just one page. That way it's really easy for me to just find what part I need, go in my collection, and then build it. And before, I would go into Bricklink and then choose the wanted quantity and change it, keep on clicking that little button, how many quantity of something I want. And if I didn't have the item, I would just have to keep on scrolling, and the process was horrible. I'm a visual learner. If everything's set out in front of me, I'm more likely to do it than have a big list of garbage. So on here, there's also notes. You're able to cross out things, which is perfect because that allows me to cross out every single item that I already have and then circle the ones that I need. So that really narrows down what parts I have to order, if I need to order any specialty parts. There's only a few parts that I really need to really finish off the model, but it's a finished model right now. So that's just a little behind the scenes, very much. And I will be posting this call out sheet right here for this model. That way, if you guys want to follow along and make your own versions at home, you can. I will be posting the instructions on rebreakable.com. It helps support me financially with 1313 and Feed, and it's probably the only way I would actually want to monetize myself. It's actually give myself worth value to monetize. I'm not just going to make some random stuff and be like, hey guys, buy my merch. I don't work like that. I feel like I have to have the value up here to make the value worth the money. At least that's how I view things when I purchase things. Is the item worth the time that I'm willing to put into it? Okay, I finished the instructions. I had a blast. That was like an hour. I think it's like 12 o'clock. I just woke up from a nap. It was super hot today. A little recap of everything. I opened up this parts instruction list. I had all of my notes on it and went through it, see which ones worked and what didn't work. And there's a total of 87 steps on the old parts list, or parts, and on the new instructions it has 86 pages. So clearly refining your craft just further and further down reduces the amount of material you need to use and the less effort it is to make a Lego set. Hopefully you guys, pick one of these up for yourself. I don't know what price tag I want to set this at for the instructions. I feel like $15 nowadays is just nothing. That's a drink at Starbucks. So I think like $25 for this instructions is valued accordingly. I don't want to do overprice because no one's going to buy it. But if I underprice myself, I undervalue myself. And I don't want to do that. So I think $25 is a good, or $24.99 is a good number to really really cut it off at. Because I'm not going to make this as a set right now. Hopefully there's no Chinese companies that buy the instructions and just knock it right off and have a bajillion of these out. That's my biggest fear. That's actually my only fear. It's to be discredited and rewritten like I never existed. And this is the only way for me to prove my value and my worth as an individual. That's how I view it. My creativity has always been my strong suit. And my generosity, with not only my emotional generosity, but my time, it's something that you don't give away so easily now. At 24, I've realized that a lot of things don't turn out the way that you want them to. But if you're able to control what little control you have over your life, you're able to make something like this beautiful creation I have in my hand, or like 1313 back there. I've just been very appreciative of a lot of things recently because I know not everything's going to be around. So might as well appreciate the time that we do have. Thank you. Have a great day.